I am right. I'm Daishin, and my practice is shikantaza. And then for many, many years, that's how I introduced myself to Roshi. Only I said, my name is Daishin, and my practice is shikantaza. But my name is Christopher, and I'm Daishin. And what I mean is, like, Roshi gave me this name. It means great heart. And I am a great heart. And all of you are too. It's our true nature. It's a way to be. Great heart. I'm very appreciative of the name. It was a combination of my Izumi Roshi's name and Shishin Roshi's name. And I will always be honored. So, these talks for me are, I get really caught up in them. Roshi called me a few weeks ago. Said, okay, Wednesday you're going to give a Dharma talk. Or maybe he asked me. But I knew what he meant. And so, you know, from that point on, drawing on my drawings, doing this, doing that. And then show up here at retreat and then try to sit with still mind. And my mind is busy with what the hell am I going to say? What am I going to talk about? Dharma talk. And in a way, I suppose that would be disruptive of my practice, except, you know, really, all the thoughts that we end up with are food for practice, whatever they might be. And for me, having one that intense about coming up constantly, it gave me a great opportunity to practice. Before I came here to this retreat, well, actually starting almost a year ago now, I made New Year's resolution to sit for 1,000 days in the morning, every morning. And I'm about 350 days into it. And it's been an extreme discipline for me. I won't vary it at all. I have a routine and it fits right in there, and I sit the same time every morning. Every morning. And it's made a world of difference for me. And I'm not quite sure why, but I think that rigid consistency, that discipline of bringing myself to the cushion, sitting that time, has formed a habit for me. And so now it's become much easier for me to drop into my practice, to get still, to let things go. And now this retreat, well, I'm pretty blown away by this retreat and what's going on with me. And I'm really pleased and extremely grateful. In a way, after everything drops away, if it happens to anybody in this realm, the only thing that's left is gratitude. You know, it just, these days, it just seems astounding to me that this is happening. when I was a child and ponder things, as children ponder things, I often wondered why there was everything rather than nothing. Why did this happen? Why is there everything? It could have been nothing. It would have been just the same. It would have been a void multiverse entirely. I didn't think of it that way as a child. But just that curiosity about why is there everything and not just nothing. And then as I got into practice, after several years or so, you start to have little spaces where there really is nothing. And over the years, those spaces more frequent and sometimes a little longer spaces. So it occurred to me then that it both is true, that there is everything and there is nothing. And it's sort of like our practice tells us that there's a great emptiness. But it's an emptiness of any fixed thing. Nothing persists. Just this moment. The moment doesn't have any leeway. There's nothing on the left of it. There's nothing on the right of it. It's a point. It's a point. It's like a mathematical point. It's a moment. It has no dimension. There's no time from when it begins to when it ends. It's just a moment. All my life I've put the moments together as if they were sequential, linear. I always think of things in terms of the vector of time, moving in one way, always moving in one way. But I've come to understand or realize, for myself anyway, that it's not what's going on, it's arising right now. Always right now. It's not a sequence of things, it's not anything linear happening. I like that. Everything's complete now. Everything is complete now. And it's a great perspective for me to know this. It's such a vast, unimaginable multiverse that we occupy, and in such a minute, tiny little corner of it. It's endless. Endless. It has no beginning. It has no ending. It's constantly arising. It'll constantly be arising forever. And forever. It's awesome. And we are an integral part of that. Maybe more than that. When I was a kid, a little boy, I had two ways of thinking about my childhood. It was pretty ragged around my family. with the exception of my grandma and grandpa, everybody was very, very dramatic, and it was always upheaval, and there was always trauma, and da-da-da, and it went on and on like that. And so I used to tell my child's story when anybody cared. I had a horrible childhood, but I didn't. I had an absolutely beautiful childhood. I was a happy person. I was so happy as a child. I just loved getting up in the morning and being happy all day. I was so easygoing. And then there was a shift for me. I don't know exactly when, but pre-adolescence, something like that, adolescence, where I started to darken things for myself. I had accumulated, I think, a database from the drama and the trauma and the upheaval. I'd accumulated a database about things that my mind started to throw up. My mind started to tell me how things were. Then I wasn't so happy all the time. Then I adopted lots of habitual ways of being. It conformed to what my mind was telling me I am. I adopted depression, anxiety, and especially anger. And these things became my habit, way of being. Not exclusively, obviously, but where the rubber hits the road, that was how I responded. When things got tight and I got angry or depressed. And this just went along. I discovered Zen. Don't know exactly how, it's incidental. And began practice. And began to watch my brain. And over time, I began to understand what was going on with my brain. I began to understand, see what it was doing. But by that time, the scoundrel was well groomed. I think this mechanism, I don't know much about science, I'm not prone to go that way, but I think this mechanism, every time a thought pattern goes through it, it becomes stronger, I think. And so I was watching my brain, and I was watching it respond and talk to me the way it did. And I hooked that to my practice about letting go. And now I'm talented at letting go. I thought that for some reason or another I was going to let go once. I was going to be okay. But now I've come to understand that that's my life, is letting go. Because of all those deep grooves. They're not going to go anywhere. In my brain, it's like an organ. It's just a piece of me. I've got a kidney, lungs, pancreas, liver, heart. Heart's a little special. It's just an organ, and it seems its function is to generate thoughts. And I don't understand why the thoughts come up. Sometimes it makes sense because it's in relation to something that's going on and it's helpful, but other times I have no idea why thoughts come up. But they do. And brain, this brain of mine, loves to think about them. No matter what it is, no matter what thought it throws up, it wants to continue and think about it. Somewhere in there, I am. I guess. And so the practice was to recognize that brain had tossed something up, and then exercise an option. And then I exercise an option. I can't always do that, of course. But it's my practice. Pay attention to that thing and not just blindly follow it around. Because it's full of nonsense. The database is just full of nonsense and totally inapplicable to now, totally inapplicable to what's going on right this minute. It has nothing to do with it. And it just causes suffering. So that's the practice. And we keep doing that. We keep doing it. Oh, we keep doing it. It's made my life wonderful. I am happy. I'm Daishin. That's my true nature. It's your true nature to be happy. Happy, happy. Happy, happy. A funny little word, huh? Funny word. That's what we are. We're happy. And why wouldn't we be? Why shouldn't we be? You know, just look around. Just be present. What's not to be happy about? It's always just this. Always. No matter what I try to think it is. It's not. It's this. There's nothing wrong with this. So, that's why I'm happy. When I can be here. But it's not easy to be here. My ego thing has enormous discontent with now. It's not satisfactory at all because it doesn't conform to ego's concept of what's going on. So, as much as I love my ego, I'm just going to have to let it go. Poco e poco. And that's the process. It's really difficult because it's letting go of everything I think I am. When I was, how old was I? I forget. 1998. I must have been 54. I had a bike accident, and up until then, my ego and I were running up mountains and riding bicycles and being fit and virile and, oh yeah, I was this and that. And I fell on my head, and all of a sudden, that wasn't me anymore. I could run up a mountain. I couldn't ride a bicycle. As a matter of fact, for a while there, I couldn't even move. I was paralyzed. And so, ego took a pounding. I had to understand it. That wasn't what I am. Which sort of put me at a loss, because then I wanted to know, well, what am I? Who am I? If I'm not this, that I thought I was, what am I now? I'm going to deepen my practice. And I'm grateful for falling on my head. I'm grateful for my whole life. It's remarkable. Affirming faith and mind. How do we call it now? Affirming heart and mind. Affirming faith and heart.
Trust in the heart mind.
Yeah. Anyway, I do it the other way. Because I love that chant. The first line says, the great way is not difficult for those who cease to pick and choose. No. That's conspicuously obvious to me. Desires run as ragged, it's obvious. People work their lives, all their lives, to accumulate enormous amounts, way beyond any practical application, way beyond. We have billionaires. We have Jeff Bezos, who's worth $100 billion and going. Oh, what's the point? What's the point? The point is to satisfy inexhaustible desires. $1 trillion wouldn't be enough. Not one. I was reading an article about Jeff Bezos, and it said in the time you took to read this article, Jeff Bezos made $30 billion. Okay. Buy more socks. What is it? Why do we do it? Why? We're driven by it. I am. I have been. I personally, for some strange reason, and I don't understand, but maybe I will one day, I never was cursed with a desire for material things. But I have plenty of desires, you know. They rise, they come up, they're inexhaustible, they're inexhaustible. What to work with, what to let go of, what to practice with. That's all we're doing. Just practicing. It helps when you practice something, you get better at it. And getting better at letting go will bring me and you a great deal of peace, a great deal of happiness. Happiness. I really miss Chip. Whenever I lose somebody I love, I have to see impermanence in a different way. I'll never see Chip. I'll never see any of the things that I've loved that have died. I'll never talk to them, touch them, speak to them, pet them, love them. In person, never again. That's a heavy dose of impermanence. And I have never enjoyed the idea of impermanence. But I'm getting used to it. Because it's the way things are, And to resist the way things are creates suffering. So impermanence, the nature of all things, is real difficult for me to deal with. I know it's real difficult for most people to deal with that. But in a way, it's sort of a blessing. Things arise new all the time. Every moment comes new. No stale moments. Always fresh and impermanent. And it's a journey like that. It's where you don't know what's coming, and you step forward anyway. That's what we do. We don't know what's coming, even though we want to, even though we try to, even though we make a huge effort to control things. We don't. It's just coming. The multiverse is coming. It doesn't care what I want. Maybe that's a harsh way to put it. It's just coming. And I'm there in it, and it's just coming. And I don't get to move it or control it, manipulate it. But what I do get to do is to participate, to be happy. This is phenomenal. Maybe this is the phenomenon. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. Now, right now, everything. Black holes 20 billion light years from here. And me, right now. Everything. It's pretty wonderful. Pretty amazing. I appreciate this practice. This would not have come to me otherwise. I think it's fairly rare that we humans wake up spontaneously. I think it's more likely that without any intervention, we go on believing our brains right on to the very end. Wow, that's a waste. That's little. That's tiny. It's big. Our life is big. It's full of it all, the depression, the anxiety, the bitterness, the anger, the joy, the ecstasy, the happiness. It's all there, and it makes a life. And at this point, after 70 odd years, I wouldn't change a damn thing. I wouldn't change nothing. I don't regret anything. I don't regret anything. On the contrary, I am enormously grateful for everything that has come to me in this life. I don't say it's good or bad, but it's amazing. It's just so phenomenal to be me. I took notes. No good. About halfway through Affirming Faith in Mind, there's a line that says, "Do not reject the sense domain, for as it is, whole and complete, this sense world is enlightenment." I love that line. I love that line. I love the sense world. When I'm not interpreting and analyzing things, I am just experiencing, and in that experience, for me anyway, it's completely and utterly fulfilling. To stop and look at something carefully. It comes into me like that. It's available, of course. It always has been, but my brain got in the way. Not always. More and more as I got older, more and more the brain intervened and interpreted. And doing it that way. I'm going backwards now. I'm going the other way. I'm sensing more. I'm experiencing more. I'm interpreting less because of this practice. That's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful thing. I'm sure you're all experiencing the same things. The more you practice, the more present you get, the more awesome things are. The bigger you become. Yeah. It's pretty wonderful. So, when I'm depressed now, and I'm depressed quite a lot, it's okay, it's not my favorite place to be, I suppose, but nonetheless it's completely workable. I've found that my depression manifests more like in my head as a lack of enthusiasm for doing anything, which is, for me, I'm sort of an enthusiasm junkie. That's not easy. I want to be enthusiastic or don't feel like doing anything. And depression dampens my enthusiasm. But that's my brain talking to me. I say to myself, brain says to me. Brain says to me, geez, the kitchen's a mess. I don't want to clean it up. And then I start clean up the kitchen. And so, depressed or not, I start to wash the dishes. And then I'm washing the dishes. No problem. You can wash dishes when you're depressed. You can do anything that you could do anyway. So it's important for me not to listen to my brain. It'll stagnate me because feelings come up. And brain wants to attach its ideas to those feelings. And then those feelings linger. Brain entertains them. Feelings get worse or better or whatever. And it's like this horrible feeling thought cacophony of mixed up things. I feel everything. Everybody feels everything. And I think that's exactly appropriate. To not reject the sense domain. And so, feelings are part of our sensation. We don't want to reject our feelings. We want to experience our feelings. It's the sense domain. We want to let our thoughts go. We want to let our thoughts go because our thoughts are separated from the multiverse. They're not integrated, not at all. They are our constructs. They are our human nature. We have that capacity, I think, more specially than any of the other creation that I'm aware of. I have a conceptual brain. I mean, I can get sick because I think I'm sick. I don't think Bodhi could do that. So it's important to separate these things out. Thinking and feeling. It's important to me. They confuse each other. Feel my feelings, let my thoughts go. Good process. Makes me happy. Doesn't make me happy, it lets me be happy. I am happy. I really am. Chip only heard one of my Dharma talks, I think. I'm so honored with this. It was after my Dharma talk, and I was in the kitchen. I was talking to Chip. He came up to me and he said, Daishin, I hate Dharma talks. I'll tell you that. I hate Dharma talk. But that was the best fucking Dharma talk I ever heard. So, I hope Chip hears this one and likes it as well. Hello, Chip. When I sit, this probably happens for all of us. Now, breathe out. Like there. That point still, down at the bottom of the out breath. That's soft and still. I like to linger there, but I have to breathe back in. And sometimes that soft stillness will hold on for another breath, maybe several breaths, who knows. But it's the bottom of that out breath where there seems to be emptiness. And I've never understood, and no one does, what comes next. Because people think they go from this realm. We can imagine anything we like, and we do. We have all sorts of myths and concepts about what's the next thing. I sat with my dad and my brother while they died, and I saw their last breath, and it was an out breath, of course. And then there were no more in breaths. Or maybe that's what happens. You just stay with the out breath for eternity. In the emptiness. That's not so bad. I like it sitting on my cushion. I like it when the emptiness comes up. I like it. I'm not there. Maybe that's why I like it so much. So, you know, I'm trying to figure out how many minutes I've been talking. Probably enough. And so may you all be happy. May you be safe. May you be present. And may you appreciate your life and just keep going. So thank you very much.